Hello, good evening to everyone. This is Banu Prakash, Assistant Professor, Triple E Department, Sri Datta Institutions. So, let me start my class with the defining field. So, what is meant by field? Field is nothing but a force. Field is nothing but a force or lines of forces which are created by electrical charges or magnetic charge. Or magnetic charge is also called as a permanent magnet. Okay, the field is nothing but a force. It is nothing but a force or lines of forces which is created by electrical charges or magnetic charges. Magnetic charge, or this magnetic charge is also called as a permanent magnet or permanent magnet. Okay, now see, we have two types of fields based on the electrical charges and permanent magnet. If you take electrical charges, we have two types of charges basically, positive charge and negative charge, which is already known to you. Okay, suppose if you take a positive charge, and so whenever there is a positive charge exists in the universe, okay, so what will happen around the positive charge and field lines produces around it like this. The field lines or lines of forces, produces around this charge like this. For positive charge, the field lines are radially going outwards. Okay, so what are these lines? These lines are all called as lines of forces or a field, it is nothing but a force lines. So this field is produces due because of electrical charges, such a field is called as electrical field. Now tell me, how can you define an electric field? Electric field is nothing but a force or lines of forces which are created by electrical charges. So, and suppose if you take one more charge which is a negative charge. Okay, for this negative charge, the property of electric field lines for this negative charge is radially coming towards the charge like this. These are the electric field lines for negative charge. Okay, now suppose if you bring these two charges nearer to each other, what will happen? The electrical field lines flow the axis path from positive to negative charge like this. If you bring these two charges nearer to each other, the field lines directions will be like this. Right? These are the properties of your electric field lines. So finally, I would like to conclude the definition of electric field. Definition of electric field is, it is a field or lines of forces which are created by electrical charges. Similarly, we have one more field, that is that we have electric field. Two types of fields. We have electric field, and it is already discussed. And now I am going to discuss about the magnetic field. Magnetic field. What is a magnetic field? Okay. Suppose, see, in the definition, it is nothing but a force or lines of forces which are created by electrical charges or magnetic charge or permanent magnet. If you consider a magnet, permanent magnet, which is having north pole and south pole, Okay, for the permanent magnet, the magnetic field lines complete path from north to south like this.
to outside the magnet. Okay, like this. And magnetic field lines, the field lines completed path from south to north inside the magnet. Now what will happen whenever there is exists a permanent magnet, it produces a lines of forces or field lines around it. Now the lines of forces which are created by permanent magnet is called as your the lines of forces which are created by permanent magnet is called as your magnetic field. Or we have one more source for the magnetic field. What is that source? Okay, suppose if you take a conductor, conductor is like this. Okay, what will happen? For this conductor we have number of free electrons irregularly distributed inside the conductor like this. Okay, whenever this conductor is excited with an external source, what will happen? An electromotive force exists between the two ends of the conductor, so that the electrons which gains the energy from the external source, so that they will try to move from one end to another end, so that electron flow is happening here. So this electron flow is called as our current. So current carrying conductor or moving charge, what will happen whenever this conductor is excited with an external source? This charge is experiences a force. That means this charge is not in rest position, it is trying to move from one end to another end. This moving charge causes a magnetic field. Okay, moving charge is also causes a magnetic field. Conclusion is magnetic field is nothing but it is a lines of force or field lines which are created by the permanent magnet, or the magnetic field is also produces due to the moving charge. Okay, moving is a very important point. Moving charge causes a magnetic field. Now tell me, so here this charge is an electrical one and the field produced by the moving charge is magnetic field. Now here we have a relation between electricism and magnetism. Okay, we have a relation between electric field and magnetic field. As this magnetic field is produces due to the moving of electrical charges, such magnetic field is also called as electromagnetic field. Okay, electromagnetic field. Now see, the comprehensive study of this electric field, magnetic field and electromagnetic field is our subject. So that is engineering. Now that is our subject and it is engineering electromagnetics. This is our subject, or electromagnetic fields. Now tell me, what is our subject name? Our subject name is electromagnetic fields or engineering electromagnetics. Now I am going to teach electromagnetic field subject for you students. So please concentrate on this subject very carefully. So please don't absent for any class. If you absent any class, it is very difficult to understand the subject. Okay, so this is very critical subject. It is so have to understand. Now, so what are the prerequisites to study this subject? What are the prerequisites? Okay, yes, field is exist everything in universe. So simple mathematics is not enough to. Simple mathematics means 2D, two-dimensional mathematics is not enough to study this subject. So as field is spreaded in the universe, so a three-dimensional geometry is required, or three-dimensional vector calculus is required to study or to understand this subject. Okay, now so to understand this engineering magnetics or electromagnetic field subject, vector algebra is a very important, it plays a very important role in the study of engineering electromagnetics or electromagnetic fields. Now, so you already very well known about a vector. So what is mean by a vector? Vector is having a magnitude, vector is having a magnitude as well as direction. Vector is having magnitude as well as direction. Okay, and it is vectorically represented, it is pictorially represented like this. It is having tail end and head, and suppose if you take this is a O and it is A, the vector for this pictorial representation is represented by OA bar. Okay, so this is the definition of our vector. And now I am going to discuss about the coordinate system. So, I am going to discuss about the coordinate system. See, so what is the importance of this coordinate system? What is the importance of this coordinate system? So, I already told about this engineering electromagnetics, vector algebra plays a very important role. Okay, so to understand the vector algebra, vector calculus, it is necessary to study the coordinate systems. So we have basically three types of coordinate systems. One is Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian coordinate system, or it is also called as a rectangular coordinate system. Rectangular coordinate system. And we have one more system, it is a circular cylindrical system. It is a circular cylindrical system. And next, the final one is spherical coordinate system. Spherical coordinate system. Okay. Now see, in this class I would like to discuss about only the coordinate system, Cartesian coordinate system or rectangular coordinate system. So in Cartesian coordinate system, the axes, three axes are used to analyze the vectors. So three axes which are namely x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Three axes are used in Cartesian coordinate system, which are namely x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, and these three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other. These three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other like this. That means three axes are having 90 degrees apart. Now see, and here I am taking x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now see, in Cartesian coordinate system also we have two types of system. One is right-handed system, and have one more system, which is a left-handed system. In the left-handed system also, three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other, which are x, y, z axes, and in left-handed system just interchange the x and y axes and place the z axis as same as right-handed system. It is a left-handed system. So what will happen here is, in the right-handed system, so how can you define the right-handed system means, So if x-axis is rotated towards the y-axis, such a system is called as a right-handed system. Now here also, so after interchanging the axes x comma y axis, here if x-axis rotated towards the y-axis, such a system is called as, for this figure only, such a system is called as left-handed system. So in the right-handed system, as the x-axis moves towards the y-axis, what will happen? The z-axis moves upward, and here z-axis moves downward. As x-axis rotated towards the y-axis or clockwise direction, here it is an anti-clockwise direction. This is about simple definition of your right-handed system and left-handed system. Now we would like to learn about representing a point in Cartesian coordinate system. It is a very important topic. Representing. Students, please listen this topic carefully. If you listen this topic carefully, then only you can understand the other topics which are there in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth units. Representing a point in Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So now already discussed about right-handed system, left-handed systems, or which type of system we have to use to indicate a point in the Cartesian coordinate system or rectangular coordinate system. Means generally we are all following one system, which is a right-handed system. So in right-handed system, just take x comma y comma and z axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Now see, I want to represent, example, a point P of 1 comma 2 comma 3 is there. So please represent this point 1 comma 2 comma 3 on this Cartesian coordinate system or rectangular coordinate system. So to represent that 1 comma 2 comma 3 axes, so before that we have to understand what is meant by where it is there, 1 where it is there, and where 2 is there, and where 3 is there. So 1 is on x-axis and 2 is on y-axis, 3 is on z-axis. That means take 1 unit's distance on the x-axis, and where you have to move 2 units distance in the y direction, there you have to go 3 units in the z direction. So just naming the units on x comma y comma z axis. Just consider it is a 1 and 2, 3, it is 4. The same distance considered on z axis, x axis and z axis, 1, 2, 3, and it is 4. Now see, similarly here also 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So how many distances, how many units are given in the given point on x-axis? It is 1 unit. So take 1 unit distance on the x-axis, and here from here you have to move 2 units distance in the which direction? Y direction. So just draw a parallel line from 1 unit's distance from the x-axis. It is parallel to the y-axis, and so how many units are given on y-axis? It is 2 units. You just you just identify where the 2 units are there in the y-axis. So this is the 2 units on the y-axis, and draw a dotted line which is a parallel to the x-axis, Now, so this is the meeting point of x comma y units, but we have one more axis which is z axis, and on z axis we have 3 units. So from here we have to go in the z axis direction like this. Now see, draw a dotted line between origin and middle point of x comma y. Draw a dotted line between origin and x comma y middle point. And now, so how many units are given on the z-axis? It is 3 units. So just draw a dotted line which is parallel to this line. This line is, it is the meeting of origin and x comma y. I am just drawing, which is a parallel line. That should be a parallel one, like this. Now it is your 1 comma 2 comma 3 units. Now just strike up these lines. Okay. This is the representing a point in the Cartesian system. So for your equation, I am representing one more point, which is point P of just -1, 2 and 3. Represent -1 comma 2 comma 3 on this Cartesian coordinate system. So again I am drawing. So see, in the point is given negative x-axis, is z-axis, and it is y-axis and x-axis. But in the problem is given negative axis. Negative x-axis is the opposite to the positive x-axis, is -x. Okay. So just consider units 1, 2, 3, and here 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and here 1 unit on the negative x-axis direction is a -1. Next you see, after just draw, in first step identify 1 unit or -1 unit on the negative x-axis. Next draw a parallel line to the y-axis in the y-axis direction, dotted lines. After identifying x-axis units on the negative x-axis, just draw a parallel line on the y-axis. Okay. Now identify how many units are given in the problem on y-axis. It is a 2 units. Now just draw a parallel line which is parallel to the negative x-axis, like this. Is like this. Now this is the meeting point of -x comma y. Okay. Now see, after x comma y we have a z-axis. So on z-axis how many units is given? This 3 units. That means go in this direction. It should move in positive z-axis direction. Why? Because is given positive, is given +3 units. +3 units means it is in the positive z-axis. 1, 2, 3. I already told. Just draw a meeting line. Draw a line between origin and meeting point of -x comma y. Next, draw a parallel line from 3 units on the z-axis. This is your -1 comma 2 comma 3. Just draw these lines. Is clear? Now, so this is about your representing a point in the Cartesian coordinate system. Now, I would like to move the next topic, which is base vectors. Base vectors. Base vectors. What are the base vectors? Base vectors are nothing but unit vectors which are oriented along the x comma y comma z axis in the Cartesian coordinate system. So if you consider the 3 axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other, x comma y comma and z axis. Okay. So base vectors are nothing but what vectors? Unit vectors which are oriented along their axes. If you have an x axis, okay, on x axis, which vector is oriented along its x axis? It is a small ax bar is a unit vector which is oriented along the x-axis, and in the same way which vector is oriented along the y-axis, it is obviously ay bar. Next, which vector is oriented along the z-axis? It is a az bar. So this is the base vectors. Base vectors are nothing but the unit vectors which are oriented along the axes. Now, the next definition in the Cartesian coordinate system is a position vector. What is the position vector? Position vector. How can you define position vector? Position vector is nothing but it is a vector. It is drawn from origin to the point P. Okay. Suppose if you take a point P in the Cartesian coordinate system like this, x comma y comma z axis, and you have a point P here which is x comma y comma z. Let us consider a point P here. It is a x comma y comma z units. And how can you define this position vector? Position vector, it is nothing but a vector. It is drawn between origin to the point P, origin to the point P, or we can also define in another words how it is the distance between origin to the point P. Okay. So now how can you write the expression for this position vector? Position vector is, if you consider origin as a P, OP bar or P bar is equals to, okay, is calculated in another way. Like, see, which vector is oriented along the x-axis? It is a ax bar, and ay bar is oriented along y-axis, and az bar is oriented along the z-axis. This is the base vector. X into ax bar is the base vector, y into ay bar is the base vector, z into az bar is the base vector. The summation of all these base vector is also called as a position vector. That means summation of base vector x into ax bar plus y into ay bar plus z into az bar. This is your position vector at point P. Position vector. It is the summation of base vectors, which is x into ax bar plus y into ay bar plus z into az bar. Or you can calculate this position vector in another words by subtracting this position vector x into ax bar from the origin. So if you do like that, you will get the same answer only. Now, next definition is about distance vector. How can you define distance vector? Distance vector. Distance vector. Okay. Say, consider x comma y comma z axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Just let us consider point P, x1, y1 and z1, and consider point Q which is having x2, y2, z2 units. Okay, so calculate the distance between point P and point Q. So P is the position vector, Q is also one more position vector. Okay, distance vector is nothing but the distance between two position vectors. Okay, what is the position vector here? Position vector here is Q bar is equals to, I already explained just now. Okay, it is the position vector is the sum of base vectors. So what is the base vector here? x2 into ax bar, summation of all base vectors. So here, what is the unit vector which is having here? y2 ay bar plus z2 az bar. Okay. So now similarly write down the position vector at point P. So what is the position vector? It is also the summation of base vectors. So x1 ax bar plus y1 ay bar plus z1 az bar. Now distance vector is the distance between point P and point Q. So if you want to calculate the PQ bar, just subtract the Q bar minus P bar. What is Q bar here? It is x2 ax bar plus y2 ay bar plus z2 az bar minus what is P bar? Is x1 ax bar plus plus or plus y1 ay bar plus z1 az bar. So if you subtract these two vectors, you will get PQ bar is equals to x2 minus x1. It is a common here. What is the common here? It is a ax bar, ay bar, az bar are the commons. So x2 minus x1 ax bar plus y2 minus y1 ay bar plus z2 minus z1 az bar. This is the distance vector. Now we have a final definition. It is a unit vector. Now can we define this unit vector? Unit. This is the purpose of unit vector. Purpose of unit vector is it always represents the direction. So if you want to represent the direction, you have to use unit vector. It is represented by a small a upon with bar. Okay, if it is oriented along the x-axis, we are going to write ax bar. If it is oriented along the y-axis, ay bar, etc., etc. Okay, so and it is defined as the ratio of. It is defined as the ratio of unit vector. Unit vector. It is defined as the ratio of vector to the vector. Anyway, distance vector. Okay, distance vector to the magnitude of that vector. Magnitude of that vector. Okay. So in the previous figure we have taken like this one. The previous figure we have taken P bar here and Q bar here. So this is the distance vector. So from this vector, if you want to represent A P Q bar, where A P Q bar is the unit vector, small a P Q bar. Okay. So how can you write the expression for this unit vector from this formula? Unit vector, it is A P Q bar equals to, what is the distance vector here? It is P Q bar by magnitude of that vector means it is P Q bar, like this. This is an expression for your unit vector. Okay. Now we have a very important topic in the Cartesian coordinate system. This is a very important for the upcoming topics. That is the differential elements. Differential elements in very important topic. Please listen carefully. Differential elements in Cartesian coordinate system. So the name indicates in the topic differential. Differential means a small length. That means how can you get the differential elements in the Cartesian coordinate system means, okay, so just take x comma y comma z axes which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, and just consider a point P which is having x comma y comma z axes. Okay, how you get the differential elements in the Cartesian coordinate system means you just increase the length of the axis. Remember, listen carefully here. How can you get the differential elements means here is just increase the length of the x-axis, length of the x-axis, length of the x-axis from x to x plus dx. That means how much amount of length I am increased here. I am increasing the length of x-axis, the small differential one, that is dx, so that the axis length becomes x plus dx. See, initially we have x, okay, so after that what I did here, I am increasing the length of x-axis from x to x plus dx. That means how much length I increase here, it is a dx. Okay. Similarly, increase the length of y-axis from y to y plus dy. That means how much amount of length I increase it on the y-axis, it is dy. Similarly, the z-axis from z to dz. That means what is the amount of length increased here, it is the dz. Okay. Now you tell me. So initially the point P is where it is having x